What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be creating this dots pattern poster of the Oasis album covers. Let's get started. Okay, so I've already got the album covers pulled into Photoshop here, and this is actually kind of a fairly quick process. So I'll kind of try to talk through it. Sorry, I cannot talk this morning. I'll try to talk through it as best as I can. So the first thing I'm going to do here, and this is really just for personal preference, but I don't want any of this text up here at the top. I just want that image to show. So I'm going to do a content aware fill right here. And what this will do is, this will kind of analyze the photo and kind of get rid of the Oasis and definitely maybe up there. It's not necessarily perfect, but that doesn't really matter for this type of effect. So I'm just going to keep moving forward here. So I've got this pattern that I created, and I'll show you how to do it really quickly so that you can actually do this yourself if you want to. So it's a 50 by 50 pixels up here, and what I do is I just zoom in all the way, grab your rulers tool so you can grab your guides, and you want to do two guides right there in the middle. Do your elliptical marquee tool, go in the center and go from the inside out, fill it with black, and then invert. And then you just go up to define pattern, and you can name it 50 by 50 circle or 50 by 50, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. When you're done doing that, you can hit close and then hit don't save right here, because you don't need to save that for any reason. All right, so now I'm going to make sure that my image layer is selected, go up to filter, pixelate, and mosaic, and enter 50 for the square size. And then we're going to put a mask on this layer, and then I'm going to fill it with that pattern that we just created. So 50 by 50 circle, hit OK, and there you go. So I'm going to move this over to this side, and then I'm just going to do the same thing again to these two images right here. So right here, I'm just going to move a little bit faster than I was before. And again, I'm just going to get rid of the text up here. Don't really care what the top of that looks like. It can definitely mess it up if it wants to. I don't really care, because when you apply this effect, you're not really gonna you're not gonna notice that imperfection up there. It's not like we're doing something that's like a photographic effect or anything like that. Okay, it'll apply the same pattern there, and now we can grab this and drop this in here. That's interesting. Why is it a different size? Oh, okay, I know why. I know exactly why. All right, so let me undo all of this. I'm gonna select this layer, then hit crop. There we go. So, all right, I know exactly what happened. Okay, so like earlier when I was when I dropped this image in here, there was actually more to that image, and I forgot to crop it. So let's do the same thing with this one, so that we don't run into that same problem again. Okay, so mosaic, pattern, there we go. Good. The things you forget to do sometimes. And also the things that just never occur to you. Okay, same thing here, mosaic, mask, fill with the pattern. Okay, bring this over here. So I'm thinking of actually getting this printed, and I just realized if I'm gonna do that, then I should change probably to, you know what, I'm not gonna change it right now, just because I have kind of an idea of what I'm wanting to do with this particular orientation. So I'm gonna do a new guide, and let's just throw, you know what, I'm gonna not worry about the bleed right now. Can worry about that later, so let's take that off. Okay, I'm gonna do a 2-inch margin all the way around. So that way we can get this exactly where we want it to go, and so that it's perfectly spaced out. And you know what? I just realized, my goodness, I'm moving too fast. I just realized I didn't get the name out of here. So let's do that. Can we say ill-prepared? All right. Mosaic. Perfect. Put this in here. Okay. Now we can put this back in. It's got to be consistent, right? All right. Okay. Align that to the center. Okay. Now, I'm not entirely done here. I want to do a couple of different things here. So I'm going to do a fill of like a really bright, but not quite white, like not quite entirely white, because I want to do like a some kind of a paper texture. So let's go over to Documents, Design Resources, and maybe grab, like, you know, something that's not too aging. Okay, I like something like this. Okay, let's go to the very top layer and drop this in. And I want this to be very, very subtle. So we're not going to do anything that's too overbearing on these images here. And actually, I would rather it apply only to the background. So let's do normal, and let's put it over that color fill so we can actually see it. And maybe something like 50% or even 25%. I just want it to be really nice and subtle. And look at that. Goodness gracious, I'm gonna have to redo that one. My goodness. It's embarrassing. This is what happens when you do things off the cuff and try to do them quickly. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so those right there. I like that nice subtlety going on in the background. Now, what the next thing I'm going to do, I am going to add a layer of grain, because you know that's just what I do. It's my thing. Grain is my thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 100 on the grain, and then maybe like a 25 on the roughness. No vignette at all, because I want it to just be a nice subtle layer of this on top. And I'm pretty happy with that. Like that a lot. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to Illustrator. So now I'm going to switch over to Illustrator, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to put a border around each one of those, and I'm going to make it an inch larger than the rest of them. I always find it a lot faster and easier to just go straight into Illustrator rather than creating this in Photoshop. Just create it in there and then copy it over to Photoshop. Okay, nice subtle line going around there, around each one of those. And then I'm going to do something a little bit familiar. We're going to go in and we're going to do a Gaussian blur on this to just make sure that it kind of looks like it's blended really well with that paper pattern there, because we don't want it to be like these super clean looking lines. And I may even do the same thing with the artwork itself. So let's see what it looks like when we do it to the artwork. Make sure the artwork is selected. And let's see, let's play around with this. Okay, maybe, you know what? I'm actually pretty happy with that. 1.5 on the Gaussian blur. And we'll do the same thing to the other 2 layers. Good. That way it's just not so perfect looking, you know. All right, let's add in some typography here. Definitely not brush script. You can tell what video I just made. All right, I am going to use one that I just, yeah, here we go, Active Grotesque. That's a really nice one. Okay, so this one is definitely maybe. And I think that I'm going to do all caps for this. And we'll do, you know, kind of like a gallery type of look. So I think I'm going to stretch out the text. Well, not stretch out, but I'm going to adjust the tracking on that and really open up the space between those. And let's do this. In case we want to add any kind of effects, I'd like to do maybe like a 20% on that. So definitely maybe Oasis, and let's definitely definitely maybe adjust the tracking. Not tracking, the leading. Goodness, what am I doing? Okay, definitely maybe, and let's change that maybe to that's weird. Extra bold. Well, Photoshop doesn't like extra bold for Active Grotesque, and Active Grotesque is one of Adobe's fonts. Interesting. Well, I guess we'll go with black then. That's fine with me. All right, and then we'll put 1994 right here, and I think that I'm going to take down the sizing of both of those and maybe add in an extra paragraph return there. What would it look like if we did black italic for this? I think the spacing is a little bit too much there, so let's do something a little bit more subtle. Okay, I think that that's good. Okay, align that with the image, and then we'll just drag this over and duplicate it. Do the same thing again for this image, or this album cover. Since that's all the way to the right, let's use our align tool, make sure that it is in fact aligned. It is. Good. All right, so this one, what's the story? Not what's the story. Morning glory. Okay, Oasis. This one came out in 95. I think I'm going to go in and adjust the weight of the Oasis in 1995, maybe to something. What in the world? What is going on with this font? Should I just use a different font? I think I'm gonna. Well, okay, okay, it's fine with regular. I gotta figure out what's going on with this font. That's crazy. Okay. That's weird. Why did it change it back? I'm in the Twilight Zone this morning. What's the story? Morning Glory. There we go. And now, be here now. And now we'll be here now. Change that to a 7. Let's go this to, Let's make this regular. All right. And then we'll do the same thing to the text with the Gaussian blur. So Gaussian blur. We may not need to do 1.5, maybe like a 1 or something like that. Let's just see what it looks like. Actually, I think 1.5 is going to be good. That's what it looks like up close right here. See, it makes it look like it's definitely part of the, you know, because right here, like, look at this right here. See how crisp and clean it is right here? Once you apply that Gaussian blur effect, it looks like it's like burned into the paper. Like, you know, it looks like we scanned it and it's actually part of the paper. All right, very cool looking. And I think this works really well. The only thing that I would change on this is I would probably try to figure out some kind of type to do up here at the top. But, you know, the whole look that I'm going for is, you know, definitely showcasing these first 3 albums by Oasis. So I think that this right here, especially if you got it on a 24x36, it would work. It would work really well because the sizing on that, I mean, those are pretty large. You know, they're 9.33 on each of them, so they're not quite as large as an LP cover, but I mean they're pretty large. So I think that this is looking really cool. I think I might actually go in and spend a little bit more time on the typography. I don't want to take too much time on that for this video, but overall I really like this. And the only thing that I would go in and change is probably just working around with the type and seeing what else I can come up with. Well, thanks a lot for watching me. I don't know what's going on with my brain today. Maybe it's the weather. It is very rainy and very cloudy outside. Yesterday it was sunny and beautiful and gorgeous and warm. So it's got to be the weather. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching along with me. If you like this, please hit like and subscribe down at the bottom. It'll keep more videos like this coming to you, and I promise I'll do better next time. Thanks a lot for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.